With that being said, everyone, welcome. Oh, we have Lord Dracula in the house. Hello, sir. Lord Dracula is a very prominent figure in Udall Dao, and very honored to have you here, sir. Thank you for joining today's call. Mike, good morning. Who else is here? S. Jimmy, hello. Tata 21, Vorios, and 38.3. With that being said, we were just having some friendly conversation with a fellow Dot Sama community member. His name is Dustin. He's in the call, and thank you again for joining us. So now that we have people in, we can get started on the InvArch weekly community call. As usual, I'll be starting off talking a little bit about myself, how my week is going. On the InvArch side of things, I'll also give the floor to anyone in the call to also share about their week and how it's been. Things have been busy at the InvArch Network. We are gearing up for this month, as in December, the last month of the year. But things have been busy, been working diligently and very hard on the marketing and community side of things with Gabe coming back since he was traveling, having an awesome time repping the InvArch Network at Sub-Zero. It will be a incredible month for the InvArch Network. Does anybody want to share anything at all about themselves this week? Anything that happened? The floor is yours.
I mean, I don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah, it's been pretty busy at Star. Sub-Zero team being out. Trying to keep up with everything on the back end. Yeah, and then just so a start like job wise, yeah, it's been really busy. Sometimes daunting when the team's like, "Don't do this, don't do that." So it's like and then personally, yeah, it's been pretty nice. It snowed earlier this week, and it was a little like, oh man, I gotta drive eventually. So the snow melted, which is kind of it's all gone.
It's
So
all gone.
it's all gone. It was like, oh man, it's getting bad. Um, so yeah, I'm excited for tonight to go to dance and stuff and let loose. I need more of that. Outside ability to get out of my workspace because in this space, if you're in the Web3 space in general, or have a job in the Web3 space, like there's always more work to do. Um, so it's just never ending. And if you don't take the time for yourself to like walk away, you pretty much get you just work like 24/7. So um, it's a good way for me to just walk away from what I do because I feel like in this space like there's a lot of production, but like for me personally, I lose a little steam if I don't take the time for myself. Like I feel so much reinvigorated. Like once I actually do and then come back, I'm like, yeah, I want to work even more. So, just a piece of advice is, if you're working so hard, take some time for yourself. That's it's always good.
Beautiful, beautiful advice there, Dustin. And I think it can go without saying that, well, everybody needs like a work-life balance, especially if you're a workaholic, if you truly, truly love what you do, if you're passionate about what you're doing, or even if you don't, but you have that drive, you have that eagerness, you have that motivation to just work hard. Even if it's a job maybe you don't love, but I mean, you are working, right? Either whether it's for the benefit of yourself, the benefit of your family, for your loved ones, um, whatever it is, whatever the reasons are, it's super important to always give yourself a break and to do that on a regular basis. Because even myself, like I agree, Dustin, it can it by working can really get you if not, sorry, I'm tongue twisting myself, but working hard without taking those breaks, without taking that time to yourself, can really just interrupt, how you would ideally like to function, and you need that work life balance. So yeah, daily health advice, guys. Does anybody else want to share anything about themselves? Please go ahead.
Hey everybody, Richie here. Yeah,
Hey,
I
Richie.
couldn't agree more with what you guys say. Hey Dustin, hey everybody. Yeah, that's me. Like what you said. I've got 4 jobs, and this, I guess I would say, is kind of the 5th thing that I do. And basically, I'm just like all day, every day at the desk, online, on my laptop. And I used to be like really healthy. I used to be really into going to the gym, being fit. I eat healthy, but I don't do anywhere near the exercise that I used to do. And I feel it, you know, because it does manifest in different forms. And it can be in your head, it can be in your body, you know, and you got to eat right too. So I'm absolutely with you, and I know that you've been getting into, doing sport again, stuff like that, and it's something that I keep on kicking myself that I have to dedicate that time to it. This week is good. I'm really Mike got me onto WAG Media, and I've been trying to wrap my head around that, trying to find some spaces, what's good in there. And this week I've focused a little bit on Bifrost because I wanted to find like a good decentralized finance project within Polkadot that I kind of gravitated towards. And so, yeah, this week it's content week, content weekend. That's me in a nutshell.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Richie. That's awesome news. I want to underscore something that you just said. So Mike helped you get on WAG Media. A InvArch community member helped you get on something that is useful, that is valuable in the Summer community. Shout outs to Mike. Mike has been an incredible InvArch community member, as well as an ambassador. He's been helping in terms of moderation. He's been helping with just keeping up the energy with the community. And I just want to highlight him. I mean, there are others as well, like AE Monk, DJ, Phil Rich, S Jimmy, Mellow Yellow, Richie, of course. Like he's more, and my favorite word seems to be prominent today, but Richie has also been one of our more prominent InvArch community members. But again, just underscoring that detail in terms of to amplify that to all of you in the call right now and all of you that will be watching this recording, that's the spirit of Sama, and I'd even say like the spirit of InvArch community as well. Like we have so many knowledgeable, passionate, engaging, truly just like, wholesome and loving people that truly want to help others really advance within the community. And whether it's, if you're into content creation, if you're into if you're just spectating, if you're just, getting your feet wet within Sama, if you're just merely joining Twitter spaces, even at that very low level, and or if you're like a personal researcher and you're doing all that you can to learn about, really interesting projects and the tech behind them, whatever you're doing, having that element of community and connecting with people is very important in this space because you get to grow, right? Like, and like growth is key, I believe, in terms of the entire building of Web3. Growth is key in your own personal occupation. Growth is key when it comes to, building a project, building a community, and truly building that camaraderie, and that just community love between everyone. So that's awesome to hear, Richie. Thank you so much. So we're at the 15-minute mark, and I want to get going on usual protocol of this call. So going into some Sama news, and if I mispronounce any of these project names, forgive me. You can correct me. Just let me know. But Ajuna Network has recently produced its first blocks as of November 28th, 2022. Ajuna nodes have been added to the On Finality marketplace, and you can check that out on their media, I believe. And as for the Insight's Most Loved Projects campaign, and we have mentioned that quite a bit throughout the past couple weeks since they launched their campaign here. And I sent a link in the chat there. But Most Loved Project Insights, if you don't know, is a interactive ecosystem map to offer a panoramic view of the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. Truly, you can explore like all the different projects and whatnot. You can see the top projects that were voted, and number 1 is Polka France with 1,095 votes. Number 2 is Remark with 847. And number 3 is, oh, surprise, Ajuna Network for 763 votes. Placing 4th and 5th place is Polkadot 721 and Bit.Country Pioneer with 649 respectively. Next up on the news, CoinHub Wallet adds a Star Network support in its app update. If you don't know what CoinHub is, it's a multi-chain decentralized wallet serving the broader DeFi ecosystem. And I'll just share a link to that news here. I believe it was shared by our fellow community member, Dustin. And then next up on the list, Darwinian Network released Darwinia 2.0 developments, which include address format and precision upgrading of staking module, which aids users to earn more staking rewards. Congratulations, Darwinia Network. And a star again now opened up HRMP channels with Fala Network. Beautiful. So it's now possible to integrate FA assets with Astar's dApps, cross-parachain routing through Subbridge. It also means being ready for Fala's FAT contracts. FAT contracts are the truth. And next up on the list, Manta Network November rollup. I love Manta Network. They're doing incredible things in terms of privacy. I believe there was a recent Space Monkeys episode on them as well. In terms of their November rollup, trusted setup. So the queue is over 3,000 contributors. Calamari's moved to delegated proof of stake migration and looking for collators and stakers, what they're currently doing. They're also providing education affecting Manta and the privacy community. And they also have some events such as collator interviews, Binance Academy webinar that had happened in November. And then last but not least, Kintsugi BTC completes runtime recovery upgrade. And next up is the presentation of a governance proposal on Kusama. Those were like the most, I could talk .sama all day, but we would be here all day. So I just picked rather more of the eye-popping news in terms of .sama. But like every project is amazing. Every project has something to bring to the table. I don't mean to discount any other project. But I do like to include as much as I can into our weekly community calls. I mean, because we are in Polkadot. Expanding out, going into crypto, going into Web3. So on Monday, MasterCard, they submitted another trademark application and a patent application called the MasterCard Crypto Secure application. And this was actually released on November 22nd, but news broke this past Monday. The filing contained the business risk assessment services and the financial risk assessment services. Other information in the filing includes cryptocurrency, sector information provision, risk management training, technical consultation, educational services like business training on crypto transaction monitoring, software as a service to monitor crypto transactions, and software as a service to assess exposure to fraud and other crypto-related risks. And they also partnered with Coinbase. This partnership lets users buy NFTs, so purchasing NFTs while using their MasterCard. And this was announced actually in January 18th. You can check out the article that I shared there. And on Tuesday, which is very interesting news actually. So OpenSea launched a new tool to catch fake NFTs. So launching a new copy mint detection system that can identify flips, fuzzy copies, and exact matches within seconds of an NFT mint on OpenSea. And the tool was created to help bring more security, authenticity, and trust to the NFT ecosystem. So scammers use several different techniques for creating copy mints. Sometimes they simply upload artwork from another NFT collection and mint it, or they modify the artwork by flipping it or altering it in Photoshop. So this new low latency copy mint detection system will detect scammers creating copy mints by any of these means and remove it in a matter of seconds. OpenSea also said that the new tool was a milestone for the company, but also acknowledged that work still needs to be done to improve NFT security and trust. It is important to note that in a nutshell, or in a smaller nutshell, it's an AI matching pipeline, a moderation tool, and a real-time API powered by Optics technology. Now, I couldn't find a lot of information on Optic, and mind you, there's quite a few companies called Optic and technology called Optics, so I'm not too sure who exactly is building it, or how it's or like what technology, what tech stack, or what company is powering this for or with OpenSea. But if you find something, let me know. On Wednesday, Fidelity, if you don't know what or who Fidelity is, Fidelity is Fidelity Investments. They launched crypto trading for retail investors. That's huge. Fidelity, the investment powerhouse, has opened up a waitlist for its new service, dubbed Fidelity Crypto, earlier this month. Fidelity doesn't have a date identified when all customers will receive full access. There is basically like a wait list right now. The invitations will be sent based on timing of signups and state eligibility, and it will offer custody and trading of supported coins while allowing users to have an integrated view of both crypto and traditional investments. And on their website, it says, which they call Fidelity Crypto. So Fidelity Crypto is your opportunity to buy and sell Bitcoin and Ethereum in the Fidelity Investments app. Users will be able to trade crypto with as little as $1, while also having an integrated view of both of your traditional and crypto investments. Very interesting news coming from Fidelity. On Thursday, Animoca Brands raises $110 million to deliver digital property rights. Animoca Brands Corporation is a blockchain gaming platform startup, and on Thursday they raised, in recent funding, so they actually raised a lot more, but in recent funding they did raise $110 million to support its mission to deliver digital property rights to users, including creating a new asset class, play to earn economies, and a more equitable digital framework. And to date, they have raised $800 million. So, in delivering blockchain-based services and non-fungible tokens, NFTs, for true digital ownership of users, virtual assets, and data, Animoca enables various opportunities, including asset interoperability, an open framework that delivers equitability for all participants in the open metaverse. So this is metaverse focused. All the best to them. I hope that does work out. Now for the InvArch update. Sub-Zero conference. So if you don't know what Sub-Zero is, if you haven't been on crypto Twitter, because it's just been all the rage, Sub-Zero is the Polkadot developer conference. And our co-founder, head of development, Gabe, and lead front-end Web3 developer, Pedro, attended the conference representing the InvArch network team. You would have caught wind of all the activity going on at Sub-Zero, and well, Gabe was truly in his element, truly enjoying his time with fellow friends in the Dot Summit community, who also have joined past InvArch weekly community calls, such as Limo, David from Oak Network. I don't think we've had Jay or LOL McShiz on yet, but or joined these calls, but they were also with Gabe as well. The FOMO is real. It really is. And I've brought this up before. I mean, I did attend Consensus 2022 and Decentral Miami mid this year. That's where I met Dustin, so many other people in the Dot Summit ecosystem. Just seeing more of these events unfold and not being part of them, like, yeah, the FOMO gets real. So at Sub-Zero, the following are all the InvArch network related events. So what took place? So we had that Codadot panel, which was in the warm-up phase of the event, so before the actual event dates. Gabe was on another panel focusing on next generation NFTs, along with Bill Laboon from the Web3 Foundation and others. And that was on November 28th. On November 29th, we had the InvArch network demo table. So GetArch was demoed at that table. And on the 30th, there was also the GetArch presentation at the Polkadot Barcamp Summit. Back to subwallets .insights, InvArch related, Tinkernet Parachain placed 38th with 121 votes. UdoDAO placed 28th with 144 votes. InvArch placed 27th with 168 votes. All in all, I truly believe that this was all in the spirit of community, loyalty, competition, and it was really cool to see how this played out. And a big thank you to all of you, everyone who voted for the InvArch network, for Tinkernet, and for UdoDAO. With that, we also had the Riri show, and Dakota was featured on it, and it was actually finally published earlier this week. It was an amazing interview. It was awesome to see him there. It was awesome to see Riri. They had a great conversation. It was very moving, electrifying, I would say. Like, it just really brought a lot more energy to the project. So if you haven't checked that out, I suggest that you do. And TLDR, which stands for like a too long don't read or didn't read type of style Twitter thread was published on the InvArch network account. I can share that in the chat here right now. Going through that, it just went through the highlights of the interview that Dakota had with Riri. I won't go through all of it, but we'll go through some certain things. A question that was asked was, what if you don't have proof of ownership? So in our everyday world, plagiarism is quite common. Tracking plagiarism, let alone stopping it, is very difficult to do. The InvArch network provides foundational infrastructure for a plagiarism-proof future. Envisioning application of KILT protocol, so using KILT technology. So for example, like let's say, so Alice has attested credentials that verifies her identity, and she's able to use KILT protocol's asset DID technology, which then can be attributed to InvArch's IP assets. So that's linking the identities. And taking it a step further, so with KILT protocol's DID tech, the ability to apply digital signatures to such agreements, this actually makes agreements compliant. So Alice is then able to conduct an internationally or domain-specific compliant INV licensing agreements. And furthermore, Dakota's alpha that he dropped during the video, so he went into what's called a dual token economy, existing in the InvArch network with Varch. So Varch native token of the InvArch network, not available yet. We still have to go through our Polkadot parachain auction, securing a slot and all. And then Tinkernet's Tinker token. In a nutshell, Varch is intended for governance, whereas Tinker would be for financial utility. So an enhancement type of token for apps and services built on top of the network. Now, there will be more information on this coming soon, and I'll speak on that in a little bit. And then as well, Saturn. So if you don't know what Saturn is or will be its own independent framework for any developer looking to implement dynamic and customizable multi-sig solutions in their projects. And this is going to be submitted to the Kusama Network Treasury as a proposal. And it's our upcoming UI framework for super powered multi-sigs. So be on the lookout for that one. And as well, we also had fellow InvArch community member Richie release a YouTube short on InvArch, which was pretty cool. Great job, Richie. I always love it when you are able to put together this video content, and they're always high quality. So thank you so much for that. And then some upcoming events for the InvArch network to look forward to, at least events that we know of right now. So yeah, like Sub-Zero may be over, but still to come, you know, we have the dual token economy update, Polkadot crowd loan details. And then of course, if you are in the UDO DAO Discord server, the UDO DAO mint and airdrop. So December is going to be a huge month. As I've been saying, it's going to be super busy for the team here at the InvArch network. There's a lot to look forward to. I can't wait for the Polkadot slot auction crowd loan details. You know, of course, being part of that, giving it my all, and giving the team my all, and all of you in the community my all. Really just striving to secure that slot for the InvArch network. So does anybody want to talk about anything that I've went over in terms of .sama or crypto and Web3 or even InvArch? Any questions at all?
No? Okay, I'll jump in there. Hey, I'm into Web3. You know, I'm big into this, but there's so much to learn all the time. And I really love what you've done with these community calls, because it's cool when I jump in and everything you've said today, I didn't know it. I've learned a lot. I didn't have time to watch the Riri show yet. I plan to do that this weekend when I have more time, and that's really cool to hear about Saturn multi-sigs. I didn't have any idea about that. I did know about the dual token economy, but again, I need to dig into that and wrap my head around it, but very well summarized. Thank you, AJ. Super cool.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Richie. You've been pretty consistent with the compliments each week, and I truly do appreciate it. Thank you so much. On that note, I mean, you know, that's what I'm here for, right? And I found that, you know, I feel like with the InvArch weekly community call in general, I mean, it's a given. All of you will come here to hear about the project, but it's also important to hear about what's going on in the ecosystem, what's going on with things, of course, about the project specifically. It's important for me to highlight those things, but also we are in Web3. Well, I believe it's super important to keep up with what's been going on. As a leader of the InvArch community, I mean, it's my responsibility to make sure that all of you, the InvArch community, is well up to date, on the same page on things. I think we had some comments in the chat here. From S. Jimmy, do you know when the article on dual token economy will appear. SGME is eager to understand this concept better. Is there an update on the teams who are using GitArch, like their experiences? So to answer on the first question, there is an article coming up. Yes, I do not know when exactly it will be out yet. I haven't received the official news to release in terms of the article. But once I do know, of course, I will let all of you know accordingly and immediately as soon as possible. And in terms of the update on the GoodArch private beta, I heard things have been going very well, and there has been a lot of great activity and building and exploration, curiosity within the teams of the private beta. As far as that, I don't know any specific updates. But again, just like I said with the dual token economy article, I will let you know when I have that information. And if you don't know, usually I will post either, if it's major, I will post in the community updates channel. So it's under the Welcome to InvArch category. Or I will be just tagging at here at everyone under the community category, which is in the InvArch Tech Lounge channel. And as well, if you have any further questions after this call, you can also ask those questions, tag me, tag any of the InvArch team members appropriately. Like if it's about tech, you can tag Pedro or Gabe. You can submit your questions in the questions channel, also under the community category. Are there any recordings available of Gabe at Sub-Zero? As far as I know, I was not told or made aware of any recordings. But it's funny that you mentioned that because I have been looking into seeing if I can get some recordings, if there were any done. Dustin, if you don't mind me asking you, do you know of any recordings that were done at Sub-Zero?
There's two that I know of. There's Gavin, if you guys seen my post, but also if you look up Sub-Zero on YouTube, you can find Gavin. And then there's the one video I put about a star on XCM. So
Oh, beautiful.
there's only two I know of.
Yeah, and were those like recorded by your team, or was it recorded by like the people that ran Sub-Zero?
It was actually just random community members, to be honest.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. But yes, so I will continue to do my exploration on that. I too am also curious about any recordings that were done of Gabe, and I would love to just sit down with a cup of hot chocolate or coffee and just watch the recordings and just really bask in his chadness. As for right now, I don't know, but I will do my best to find out for all of you. If you don't mind, just remind me after the call. You can just send me like a quick note in the InvArch Tech Lounge. So next question from 30A3. Sorry if I'm like maybe mispronouncing your Discord name wrong, but apparently your name is Roxanne. Hello, Roxanne. I'm an architect. How can I use NFTs to own my designs, and how does or will the legal system recognize this type of ownership? Okay, so I am capable of answering this, but it will take just more time than someone like Dakota or Gabe. But how can you use NFTs? Well, you can actually now mint, if anyone else in the community aren't aware of this yet, you can actually now mint like any intellectual property that you do have. And I know that's a big word, but it can be as simple as doc or a Word file filled with text of your idea. It could be a video, it could be a photo, it could be an ebook or a PDF file. It could be a PowerPoint presentation or a slideshow file. You can now mint on the InvArch network specifically. You can now mint it as an IP set or an IP file with the InvArch Tinkernet. We do have a tutorial, I believe. Let me just look for that right now. Give me a few seconds. But we did release a tutorial very earlier on in the year, and I'm just going through our YouTube channel. I know Polkadot.js is daunting to a lot of people, intimidating, but I use it and I'm not a dev. so it really isn't that bad, but hence why like we create these videos for you guys. It's so that we can walk you through how to mint your file on Tinkernet. But to further answer your question there, Roxanne, so how does or will the legal system recognize this type of ownership? So as far as I know, minting IP assets, so specifically like IP sets and IP files, or sorry, there's new naming conventions. I apologize, everyone. INV sets, INV files. It is globally compliant, as far as I know. All in all, I do believe it is legally compliant. So you can do that anytime, anywhere, as long as you have a stable internet connection and all that. But yeah, like feel free to upload any type of file. I'm pretty sure you can. I don't think there is a limitation in terms of file types. But with that, I mean, to further explain for those that are new, for those that are just fresh in the InvArch community. So think of INV set as and INV files as like files and folders on your computer. So you know how you can create a parent folder or just, sorry, I'll use more simpler terms, just a folder on your computer. Doesn't matter what the computer is, whether it's a PC or a Mac or a Linux system. But you can create a folder, and then you can also create a folder within that folder, and you can keep going. You can create a folder within the folder that you created within the folder, and like that's the true impressive tree-like structure that InvArch has innovated, or this new era that we're introducing in terms of like NFTs. That's like the awesome composability aspect to it. You can like for example, I'm a musician, right? And let's say I wanted to create an album, so I can create an INV set, and in that contains INV files. And those INV files, with the concept of a music album, each INV file is a song, and then we can just go deeper into the rabbit hole, but essentially that's basically how things work. What are the legal consequences for those who plagiarize an NFT with minimal changes? That is a complicated question. Just being totally transparent and honest with you, because the legal consequences, well, I mean, in terms of plagiarism in general, we have seen quite a bit come out of the courts and like the legal system when it comes to the creative industries, so visual arts, music. And for example, like if you are a fan of Ed Sheeran, who was facing plagiarism claims in terms of his songs like Shape of You, where there were claims that he plagiarized the chorus from TLC, which is a female group.
Can I just jump in there a second, AJ?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. It really goes on. There was a quite a famous one, if you know Lizzo, Melissa Jefferson versus Justin
Yep.
Raisin, and that was about like one party said that the other one just stole the general vibe, and like they went to court and battled over that, you know. But a really cool place to start, if you'd like to learn more about that, it's the Edu series. They are quite long,
100%.
and you know, I've been thinking about turning them into video, like in short, concise form. But if you start with even just the first one, it really lays the foundation of this, like the IP wars and exactly how InvArch tackles this. And if you go through them, even if you don't fully understand everything, you'll walk away a much smarter person, not only about what InvArch does, but about this whole phenomenon in general.
Yeah, thank you, Richie. Appreciate that. I was going to mention that at the end. Of course, I always do. Like, I always go back to the InvArch Edu series. If you don't know what they are, it's an article series, basically on the InvArch network, in a very interesting, capturing way. It really explains how the tech works in a more non-tech basis. So definitely check that out. But you also said, sorry, Roxanne, but it's pretty much a third world country without administrative laws. So the InvArch network is actually designed to serve. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what country you're in. It's designed to serve everyone. Truly do apologize, but again, like, this is not professional advice, so don't take it as that. If you are concerned, or if you are concerned from just more of a curiosity standpoint, I do suggest talking to a local IP or copyright or patent lawyer. Another resource that I want to direct you to, Roxanne, and let me just find it quickly here, but it actually is a legal walkthrough going into the InvArch network, and it was written by one of our legal advisors. His name is Reynald. Very, very intelligent person. He wrote this entire article, And I do suggest that you check that out. And as well as everyone else in the call, please go through this legal walkthrough. This article is phenomenal, phenomenal. And I believe it will answer your questions that you do have. Are there any other questions that any of you community members do have for me that I can hopefully answer? I'll take that as a no. Alrighty, so beautiful. I mean, oh wait, S Jimmy is typing. There we go. Maybe. Great job. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. So we are at the 1 hour mark, and I won't take up any more of your time unless you still want to hang out and, you know, talk. If you have any other questions for me, I'll let you come up with that within the next minute or so. But then again, I mean, it is the end of the community call. They usually go for an hour. So to end things off, again, my name is AJ. If you don't know me, I am the social media manager here at the InvArch Network. Thank you everyone for joining me in today's call. And thank you in advance for everyone who will be tuning into the full video recording. I hope you all have a wonderful first weekend in the month of December. And I'll see you next week for the next InvArch weekly community call. I appreciate you all. Have a great weekend and see you soon.